What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Juice Box presented by Lock City. It's Wighty and Munz here today. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a good start to the week so far. Today we have episode 101 of the Juice Box, which is going to be an outlook into this weekend's UFC Fight Night event in Atlanta, Georgia, featuring the headlining fight between Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. But before we get into that, just a reminder, you can, of course, join our premium tier Discord at wop.com/lockcity. That's WHOP.com/lockcity for only $5 a month. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of other sport-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. We do daily picks from our capper team. We have daily projections for all major sports. And of course, we have our Lock City cheat sheets that we're running daily for a ton of different sports and prop markets. You can get better results paying only 16 cents a day. That's $5 a month at wop.com/lockcity, WHOP.com/lockcity. All right, let's get into what we are here to talk about, which is going to be this weekend, Saturday, June 14th, the UFC Fight Night taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. The headlining fight for this one is Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley, like we said there. Pretty decent card. We got 6 fights on this main card so far. Sometimes they shuffle them around for fight nights. But Munz, how you feeling about this one that we got coming up post pay-per-view?
For a fight night, man, this is absolutely amazing. I cannot say one complaint about this card. It's absolutely stacked. Basically a pay-per-view event, in my opinion.
It's good. Yeah, all it's missing is a title fight.
Yeah, straight up. That's what I was thinking when I was doing the write-up for this. All right, let's dive right into this. Let's look at the main card here. The first fight, we have Alonzo Menifield versus Oumar Sy. Alonzo is coming into this one with a record of 16-5-1, being 10-5-1 in the UFC, 3-2 in his last 5, and is coming off a decision win in his last fight just earlier this year. He has 13 wins by finish, 10 KO TKOs, and 3 by submission. Oumar Sy is coming into this one with a record of 11-0, being 2-0 in the UFC. He's obviously 5-0 in his last 5, being undefeated at 11-0. He has 8 wins by finish, 4 each by submission, and KO TKO. If we look at the tail of the tape on this one, Oumar is the younger one by 8 years. He also holds the height and reach advantage, both by a significant amount. To me, it's pretty easy here to side with Oumar. How you feeling?
Yep, I feel the exact same way. And I think this is where we're going to end up calling our JuiceBox Lock of the day. But before we get into that, we'll dive into the fight a little bit more. So 100% agree with you. I think Oumar Sy takes this all day long. In terms of most likely methods, I think we're probably looking at a knockout, potentially a decision. If we're looking at Alonzo Menifield, he's 3-2 in his last 5. But those 2 that he's lost, and he's also lost 2 out of his last 3. To Azamat Mirzakhanov and Carlos Ulberg. They both knocked him out. And then he went on and he won a split decision over Julius Walker 3 months ago. Now he's coming back in. He's fighting Oumar Sy. Oumar Sy has been taking care of business pretty consistently here. He's got 3 finishes in his last 5 fights, 2 submissions, 1 knockout. He's a very well-rounded fighter. I am leaning knockout here, though, just because Menifield has been knocked out twice in his last 3 fights. I do question what his chin's like, at this point. So for that reason, Oumar Sy, I do like the knockout, but for our JuiceBox Lock, what we're going to be looking at here, I think, is the double chance. So Oumar Sy, knockout or decision, which is going to be minus 115, at least currently, on FanDuel and most other major sports books there. So Oumar Sy, by knockout or decision. He does have a submission threat there, but I think Menifield, he's got to be chinny at this point. Like we said, he's got knocked out twice in his last 3, so we're going Oumar Sy double chance on this one, knockout or decision, minus 115.
You heard it here first, minus 115 for that. Make sure you lock that in early because the odds are most likely going to shift for that pretty drastically if I'd have to make a guess right now. All right, looking at the next fight, we have Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Cody Brundage. Mansur Abdul-Malik is coming into this one with a record of 8-0, being 2-0 in the UFC. Obviously 5-0 in his last 5, being undefeated at 8-0, coming off 5 straight KO TKO wins. He has 8 wins by finish, 7 KO TKOs, and 1 by submission. So all of his wins have come by finish. Cody Brundage is coming into this one with a record of 11-6-0 with 1 no contest, being 5-5-0 with 1 no contest in the UFC. He's 3-1-0 with 1 no contest in his last 5, coming off a TKO win in his last. He has 9 wins by finish, 6 KO TKOs, and 3 submissions. If we look at the tail of the tape on this one, Mansur is the younger fighter by 4 years while holding a slight height advantage and a pretty decent reach advantage. They say at some point the has got to go, but I don't think that's the case for either of these undefeated fighters on this card. They're hungry, they're younger, and they're looking to make a name for themselves in this promotion. So once again, I'm sticking with the heavy favorite and the second undefeated fighter on this card, Mansur. How you feeling?
I agree with you again on this one. So 2 for 2 so far. I think Cody Brundage is going to get his ass handed to him in this one, unfortunately for him. Mansur Abdul-Malik in this one opened up at like minus 420. Now he's all the way down to minus 900, which is pretty crazy just in general. But aside from that, like I think the odds are pretty warranted. I don't know about minus 900. Like it's tough to lay on that, but obviously for call the card we will be. I think he probably just gets it done by knockout here. I question Cody Brundage's ability to hang with him in any capacity. I'm going Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout. Yeah, money line's minus 900, but him to win by knockout is disgustingly minus 310. So
yeah, it's gonna be he's gonna dominate him. He's gonna dominate him. So I would just avoid this one at all costs because you never know. Cody could get that lucky hit and upset the minus 900 favorite. So I don't think it's gonna happen, but it can. I would just stay clear, but for call the card's sake, Mansur Abdul-Malik. All right, looking at our next fight here, we got Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. Cody Garbrandt's coming into this one with a record of 14-6-0, being 9-6-0 in the UFC. 2-3 in his last 5, coming off submission loss in his last. He has 11 wins by finish, all by KO TKO, I believe. Barcelos is coming into this one with a record of 19-5-0, being 8-4-0 in the UFC. He's 3-2 in his last 5 and finds himself on a 2-fight win streak currently. He has 11 wins by finish, 8 KO TKOs, and 3 submissions. If we go to the tail of the tape on this one, Cody is the younger fighter by 5 years while holding the slight height advantage. Barcelos holding the reach advantage. This is extremely straightforward to me. I was never a fan of Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt. That stands true today. I have no hope in this guy. He's got no love. What makes this even easier for me is we have a Brazilian in Raoni Barcelos. So for those reasons, you can catch me riding with the Brazilian on that. I don't go against him, especially when they're going up against Cody Garbrandt.
This makes it tough for me to follow up because I don't have like enough good reasoning as to why I'm on Cody Garbrandt, but I'm on Cody Garbrandt for this one. I think he's 5 years younger. He's not more active, which obviously goes against him. He's lost 3 of his last 5, which obviously goes against him. Both of these guys, if we zoom in a little closer, have won 2 of their last 3. I do like that 5-year, almost 5 year. It's more of a 4-year and 2-month age advantage for Cody Garbrandt. I just don't see him knocking Barcelos out, and it's tough for me to say Garbrandt wins by decision. I don't know that he's got 15 minutes of fight in him, but I'm still gonna, I think, lay Garbrandt on this one as my, I think, sole underdog on the card, actually, at plus 152 now. It's really quite ballooned. I might reconsider this, but for now, I'm on Cody Garbrandt.
All right, the first one that we're against each other, I think you're delusional, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, let's move on. We got Edman Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Edman Shahbazyan's coming into this one with a record of 14-5-0, being 7-5-0 in the UFC, 3-2 in his last 5, and coming off a TKO win in his last. He has 13 wins by finish, 12 KO TKOs, and 1 submission. Andre Petroski's coming into this one with a record of 13-4-0, being 8-2-0 in the UFC, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off 3 straight decision wins to put him on a 3-fight win streak. He has 8 wins by finish, 4 each by KO, TKO, and submission. If we look at the tail of the tape, Edman is the younger fighter by 6 years, holding both the height and reach advantage. All signs are pointing towards him in this one. All of them. Let me know where your stance is here.
This is gonna be the next one. I'm gonna go Edman Shahbazyan on this one.
Yeah. There's something in me that doesn't want to take him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Petroski's he's 3-2 in his last five, but he's been knocked out in both of those. The Michel Pereira, he got knocked out in that fight. He got knocked out by Malkoun. I don't know. Same thing could be said almost about Shahbazyan. He was winning that Gerald Mearshart fight before he got submitted, and he did get knocked out by Fluffy Hernandez. But aside from that, he's looked decent. He has been fighting guys like Dylan Butka, AJ Dobson, but I think he wins this fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually don't like taking fighters when they're coming off. Well, he's not really coming off 2 straight TKO losses because he came back and won 3 right after those 2. So I think he's overcome the damage. I mean, we have a knockout artist, 12 KOs from Edman Shahbazyan, so it really could happen. But I think he's overcome that. He's got that 3-fight win streak under his belt, and I think we're going to see him extend it to 4. I got Andre Petroski in this one, but it can honestly go either way. Okay, moving on to our co-main event of the evening, we have Rose the Thug Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. So Rose is coming into this one with a record of 14-7-0, being 11-6-0 in the UFC, 2-3 in her last 5, and is coming off a decision loss in her last one in November 2024. She has 7 wins by finish, 2 KO TKOs, and 5 submissions. Miranda Maverick is coming into this one with a record of 17-5-0, being 8-3-0 in the UFC. She's 4-1 in her last 5 and finds herself on a 4-fight win streak from those as well. She has 8 wins by finish, 1 KO, TKO, and 7 submissions. If you look at the tail of the tape, Miranda is the younger fighter by 5 years, holding a very, very slight reach advantage. Rose is holding a very, very slight height advantage. They're honestly so close that you might as well call it even. I should probably take Rose in this one. I feel like Rose is going to show Miranda that, there's kind of levels when it comes to facing a top-tier fighter who's fought other top-tier fighters and has been a champion, like Rose herself. But I'm sitting with Miranda. I think she's younger and hungrier. I think she's going to show that she belongs in the conversation for these top-tier fighters and for title contention. Yeah, give me Miranda to extend her streak to 5 wins on this one. How you feeling?
Opposite on this one, too, actually. And I agree with what you said on that first part. I think that it's a big step for Miranda Maverick. I think this is going to be a little bit difficult, and I don't want to call it a fraud check because Miranda Maverick's not a fraud, but I think she's going to get checked here in some capacity, going up in talent here and fighting Rose. If we look at who Miranda Maverick's beaten recently, Andrea Lee, Dion Barbosa, Jamie Lynn Horth, not really impressive wins, nobody anywhere near Rose. I think Rose takes care of this. Probably a decision. Definitely goes the distance. But I'm going to take Rose here.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, like I said, everything in me says to go with Rose, but I just kind of feel like she's past the prime. I don't know. There's something in me wants to go with Miranda. I think she's going to win, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to see her advance to 5 wins on that streak. All right. Let's move on to our main event of the evening. We have Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Kamaru Usman is coming into this one with a record of 24-0, being 15-3-0 in the UFC, 2-3 in his last 5. But he tore up the UFC, going on a 15-fight win streak and being a defending champion before his 3 losses. He has 10 wins by finish, 9 KO TKOs, and 1 submission. Joaquin Buckley is coming into this one with a record of 21-6-0, being 11-4-0 in the UFC. He's 5-0 in his last 5 and finds himself on a 6-fight win streak with 4 KO TKO wins in those. He has 50 wins by finish, all of them coming from KO TKO. If we look at the tail of the tape, Buckley is a younger fighter by 7 years, with Kamaru pushing 40. He's sitting at 38 years old now. They hold the exact same reach. Kamaru has the height advantage in this one. 3 to 4 years ago, I'd be all over Kamaru Usman. I'd be saying there's no way that Joaquin Buckley wins this fight. Well, Kamaru Usman has this all day. But I don't think he's been the same after that KO loss to Leon Edwards. He's getting older, and I just don't see this fight ending with Joaquin Buckley not winning. I'm a fan of both of these fighters, so it will kind of be a bittersweet moment no matter who wins, but I see Joaquin coming out on top.
I agree with everything you said on that. 100% across the board. I think it's unfortunate because, like you said, Kamaru Usman, former obviously champion. Incredible win streak that he had. Obviously was the name in this division for a really really long time. But he's not winning this fight. This is going to be Joaquin Buckley, probably by knockout. Again, really sucks for Kamaru Usman, but he's 38 years old. It's a different generation of fighters, and you're not going to stop Joaquin Buckley on Saturday night here. He's getting it done.
That is definitely a fact that we can both agree on. Definitely a fact that we can both agree on. All right, well, that wraps up our coverage of the main card for our picks and predictions. Anything else you want to add on here before we close out?
I don't think so. Or I guess for the JuiceBox Lock, for those that are used to skipping to the end, will appease to them. So JuiceBox Lock for this one. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, we are going with Oumar Sy, double chance, knockout or decision. He needs to win either by knockout or decision, minus 115 on FanDuel and most other sports. Most other major sports books. Make sure to lock that in now. It could start changing. A lot of these odds here we've seen swing incredibly wildly. So make sure you're locking in that line now. I don't think you're going to get a better price than that. Minus 115 on FanDuel. Oumar's side, double chance, knockout, or decision.
You heard it there. Lock in that JuiceBox Lock. And from all of us at Lock City, take care and good luck with your bets. We'll see you in the next one.